Okay guys, so today we're going to do a complete face with Clarins. And Clarins is a brand that I've read on their website. They use a lot of botanicals and supposed to be good ingredients. Now they're not cruelty free because they do sell in China. But this is a brand that I have really been very curious about for a long time. So I've been wanting to test it. Now it is a pricey brand, so it's taking me a while to actually get enough products that I can do my entire face. But except for a couple of things that I did not get from them because I just thought that it wasn't a big deal, and you know, I can use something that I already have. But the main things I did get them from Clarins. So we're gonna start. So the first thing we're going to start with is going to be a primer, and they do have different primers. This one is the SOS, and this is a Visibly Brightness and Sallow Skin. So this is it, and it's like a little lavender color shade. I'll show you in a minute. As you can see, and I've used it a few times and I actually like it. It is not heavy on the skin. Now I really don't think it does anything to minimize my pores, but I do think that it helps even your skin out. It does feel nice. It almost feels like a moisturizer on your face. It does have a very slight perfumey scent, but it's not bad at all. I think that even if you're sensitive to scents, this is not going to bother you. And I really do enjoy it. I'm gonna pat a little bit right here where I have most of my pores, but it's just supposed to be more for brightening than it is for blurring the pores, so I really don't think it's gonna help me much in that area. But I still think that the finished look is very nice. So the foundation that I got from them is the Extra Firming Foundation. And this is what the packaging looks like. And the shade that I have is 107 Beige. So I am going to apply it with a brush and then go over it at the end with a beauty blender to make sure that I cover any brush strokes that I may have. I am going to use the NYX Cosmetics brush to blend it out, and I'm just using a hand mirror today because my little one needs to be charged and I really don't want to bring the big one out here. And I think this gives you a nice medium coverage. You can build it up, but you know, normally I do add a little more on my cheeks, but it's definitely a nice foundation. Again, it has a little bit of a scent, not overwhelming at all, but it smells pleasant. I don't mind scents on my foundation as long as they're not chemical scents. I don't like some, especially drugstore foundations. Sometimes you can get some that have really strong, I always get foundation on my earrings. Really strong chemical scents, and I really don't enjoy that. So I'm going to put a little more on my brush so that I can add it to my cheeks. And my forehead is not bad, so I really never add extra. I just kind of make sure that it doesn't go. I have a crease here and a couple of creases there. So I just want to make sure it just blends out and it doesn't go on my creases. But normally I don't really have to add extra foundation there because my I really don't have like dark spots or anything on my forehead. Okay, so I think that looks okay. I'm gonna go over it. I'm gonna put just a tiny bit on my sponge and kind of like spread it on the sponge, just because I'm trying not to pull any of the foundation off my face, and just go in just to push the foundation into my skin. And this is a pretty good match for me, this shade. Alright, for concealer, I also have their concealer, and I have used it several times, and I do like it. And this is the Instant Concealer, and it says smoothing, long-lasting concealer. So this is it. And I have this in the shade 1. So I'm just gonna grab a little bit on my finger. You can always add more, kind of divide it between both eyes. And I'd rather put less and then add more if I need it than add too much. Take a little bit more. I really didn't sleep well last night, so even though my dark circles, I mean, they're there, but they're not super bad. I had a really rough night. It was one of those nights that everything hurt. I even had a headache, which is so weird. To me, it's strange to have a headache while you're sleeping or trying to sleep, but I did have a headache. And of course, I didn't get up to take anything for it because it's one of those things like, I'm too tired, you're not letting me sleep, but I'm still too tired to get up and take aspirin, so, or Tylenol or whatever. I can only take Tylenol, which really doesn't do much. That's probably why I didn't get up. But I take anti-inflammatories, so I can't take Advil. Alright, so I think this is it. I'm just gonna go over the edges. Alright, so I am going to put my eye primer, and I don't have an eye primer from, I guess I could use their primer. I'll use that. I use their concealer on my eyes. Sometimes I use concealer anyway on my eyes. Not very often. I usually use eye primer, but I'll use the concealer today. I'm still battling my allergies. They're not as bad as they were, but we had some rain the other day, but I don't think it was enough to get rid of all this pollen. Alright, so now I am going to use some powder. And this is their powder, and it's a very pretty, it doesn't have any writing on the container, but it's very pretty. And it's like all of their products have like this little cutout. The foundation has it also on the side, as you can see. The concealer doesn't, but I mean, that seems to be their brand. The only thing I don't like about this powder is the packaging. It is so hard to get. It does have a sifter, but the sifter is very loose. I don't know. I have a hard time with it. They need better packaging for their powders. So I usually have to end up taking everything off and then hoping that I don't get too much on my brush. I don't like the delivery system, so I'm just going to use a little bit. And this foundation does last all day. I have worn it several times because I really wanted to test it out before I did a video with you guys. And it does last all day. It really stays on pretty good through the day. It doesn't get oily, and I mean, I do get like a little bit glowy around my T-zone, but it's not bad at all. And the powder has that same slight scent that the rest of the products have. They all have like the same scent, but again, it's not anything that I think it would bother anybody. So the main area I want to powder is my T-zone. Alright, so now their packages, like this is, oh, I got powder all over it. This is their eyeshadow palette, and it comes in this pretty little bag. And they do have several ones. This one is very pretty, and as you can see, it has like this is like a deep, no, I'm on the wrong side. I always hate this, it's backwards. This is like a deep brown, but it has like some purple in it. Like an eggplant purple. Now I'm going to swatch them all for you. There's very little fallout with this eyeshadow. They're not super, you know, like loud. They're pigmented, but you know, it's something that I think it's more for those that like a neutral look on the eyes. But it's very nice. I like it. I've used it a couple of times and I do like it. So I am going to, first of all, I'm going to use my brulee to set the primer. And this is a Wet n Wild brulee, and this is like 99 cents. And it's one of the best eyeshadow, you know. Oh, this, you know, I can't believe that this brings a little sponge. Guys, for the price of this palette, it should come with a brush. Not a little sponge, but that's just me. I'm just using the mirror and the palette. It's small, but it's actually a pretty nice mirror. I just hit pan on my brulee. Whoa. That's about the only shadow that I actually hit pan on ever, because I do use it very often. I actually have a couple of them because sometimes they're kind of hard to find. I think everybody knows it's a good setting shadow. Alright, so I'm going to start with the darkest color, this one right here, on my crease, because I really don't have too many colors to go with. And none of these colors are really matte, but they don't have that much shimmer that, you know, you can still put it on your crease and it doesn't look glittery or too shiny or anything like that. So I do like it on the crease. See, it looks more purple now on the eye than it did in the pan. There's really no fallout. And it does go on easily. I mean, I'm not loading the brush. Alright, so now I am going to take a smaller brush and I'm going to use some of this taupe right here. And I'm also going to use it like on the outer V and carry some into my crease. This is actually a pretty quick look because, I mean, you only have 4 shades to work with, so it really doesn't take you very long to get it done. All right, I am going to take some of this one right here. Whoa, this one. Yeah, and put it on my lid, on this half of the lid. And I'm using a flat packing brush. I wish these shadows had a little more of a color payoff. I mean, I think they're intended more for a subtle, neutral look, but I just wish that it had a little more pigment, maybe. I mean, it's nice because, well, I did have a little bit of fallout right here. But I mean, to me, if a shadow has more pigment, if it has more of a color payoff, you can always go light. You know, you don't have to put it at the, you know, the full color that it comes in. But for those of us that like a little more color on our eyes, it would be nice. And again, this isn't, and it's not bad. I do like it, but, and it's an easy look. But I just wish, for my personal preference, that it had a little more payoff. This one has a lot of fallout. The other ones didn't, but this one certainly does. Okay, now I'm going to use the other side of the brush to use this one right here. And I'm going to use this on the inner part of my lid. So even this one doesn't have a lot of pigment. So I definitely like their foundation. I like their concealer. I like their powder. I'm not super crazy about the shadows. Not that they're bad. Maybe, let me use a little sponge that they give you. Maybe they give it to you for a reason. Let's see. It doesn't do much more than the brush does. Gosh, I remember when I was younger and this is all I would use, these sponges. Okay, let me clean it up a little bit with my brulee. So, for the price of this palette, I think I would rather get like an ABH palette or something like that. I don't know, it's just not giving me what I want. I'm going to put a little bit of the purple and I'm going to use a little sponge on my lower lash line. I think I need to powder my under eye a little more because I see a little bit of creasing. I didn't put too much powder on there. Okay, so let me just, I do not have one other mascara. So let me use mascara, and then I'll come back and I'll do my brows, and then I'll come back and we'll finish the look. Okay guys, so I finished my face, not my face, my eyes. I did use a purple eyeliner from NYX, and on my lash line, waterline, and then I use for mascara, okay, I use the Essence Primer, mascara primer, and then I use the Benefit Bad Gal Bang mascara, which is a very nice mascara. I really do like it. It's a little pricey, but it's definitely, it does a great job on your eyelashes. I have a face palette, and it brings a bronzer, let me see, there you go, a blush, and a highlighter, but the highlighter doesn't have any shimmer. It's matte. So it's more like maybe a setting powder for under, a brightening powder for under your eyes. Let's try doing a little bit of that and see how it works. It really doesn't work as a traditional highlighter. There is no shimmer whatsoever, and it really doesn't do anything. So it is nice to set your under eye. That brightens it up a little bit, but you really can't use it for anything else. So I'm going to use the bronzer. And this is unscented. This doesn't have any scent. And this was actually a pretty good deal. A lot better deal than buying the products on their own. I had already bought a blush before I purchased this, but when I saw that it was a face palette and they called this a highlighter, I thought, well, that would be cheaper than buying the bronzer and the highlighter, but it's really not a highlighter. Alright, so I'm going to show you, this is the blush that I have that comes in this palette, and then I'll show you the pretty one that I bought on its own, which is a beautiful shade. Come on, focus. There we go. That is really, really pretty. So I think I'm going to use this one instead of the other one, because I don't know, it has a little bit of shimmer in it, but not a lot. It's not, your face is not going to look glowy, but it's beautiful. It's really pretty. Aren't these headbands cute? I bought a set of them from Amazon, because the other little plastic ones that I get, they're very inexpensive, but they break right away. And these things are a time saver for when I don't have time to do my hair, or on bad hair days, or, you know, I just put it back. And it's easier to apply a full face of makeup without having hair on your face. Alright, so this is the blush, and I think it's very, very pretty. The shade on this is 07 Tawny Pink. Very pretty. Okay, and then the next thing I do have a lipstick, and let me put a little bit of bronzer on my forehead, whatever's left on the brush. Alright, I'm going to use the ABH Amarizi highlighter, and I hardly ever wear this one because this one really has a lot of bling. It is a beautiful highlighter, but I mean, unless you like it super blingy, you have to go easy. So I will go easy, but it is pretty. And it's like a champagne with a little more gold than just a champagne. But I think that the highlighters that have a little bit of gold in it, as long as they're not super dark, look better on my skin. been trying to use some of the products that I've had in my drawer for a while that I haven't been giving it any love. So I think the eye look turned out very nice, and I really didn't have to work very hard to get it. But I mean, I just think that you're so limited as to what looks you can create with that. I mean, maybe just a couple of different looks, but for the price of the palette, I expect more variety, more options. But this is pretty. I mean, I definitely like it. It's something that I would definitely keep using. And it does last all day. It doesn't crease or anything, so it's beautiful. Alright, and then I do have a lipstick. Now, I do not have a lip liner. And the lipstick is number 757 and is nude, rose pink, nude pink. I think it says nude pink. I will list it below. So I'm going to use a lip liner by Gerard Cosmetics. Let me take, I have a little bit of their plumping. They have a plumping gloss that I like to put on while I'm doing my makeup, and it does help take the lines off your lips. This is what it looks like, and I will list it below in case anybody's interested. This is a Gerard Cosmetics. All right, and then the lipstick. It's like a satin lip. I mean, it does have, it feels very creamy when you put it on, and it's a beautiful shade. It has average wear time. It's very comfortable and it feels very moisturizing on your lips. Again, they are pricey for, you know, it is high-end, and it doesn't have magnetic. It has a, it just snaps on. But the packaging is very pretty. Again, it has like the little dent right there that all of their packages have. So this is it, guys. This is a full face. Let me move you closer so you can see the eyes. This is what the eyes look like. This is the lipstick. So I think it turned out very nice. I think it looks very pretty. Do I recommend it? I loved the products that I like the most. I do like very much, because I've even used it with other foundations. I do like the primer. I think it does feel very moisturizing on your skin. I think it kind of evens out your skin a little bit. So I do like this. I do like their foundation very much. It gives you nice coverage without feeling sticky or heavy on your face. It's almost like you don't have any foundation on. So it gives you, I wouldn't say is high coverage, like full coverage, but I would say it's a good medium to full. Definitely you can build it up, and I think it's a beautiful foundation. I really do enjoy this. I also like their concealer. What do I do with the concealer? I like their concealer. I wish it was in a little pump instead of squeezy bottles. I mean, it's okay. That's just me being picky, but I prefer concealers in a pump. But it is a nice concealer. You don't need much to cover the darkness under your eyes, and it really doesn't crease that much. Not any worse than any other concealer. This is another one that is really nice if you need to retouch. It does a good job. Just put a little bit on your finger and just go lightly, very, very little. And you really don't even have to powder it if you're retouching. This is super nice. I really do like it, and you get quite a bit of it. I like the powder. I do not like the packaging on the powder, and I'll show you. I mean, it brings a little puff that I don't use. Then it brings this lid, and then it has a sifter, but the sifter is totally loose. Like if I do this to get, and I can't get any powder out, but if I do this, then the sifter kind of comes out and there's no powder. So I don't know, I don't understand how this works. It shouldn't be that difficult to get powder. So then if you do take the sifter out, which is kind of messy, I always end up with powder all over myself. The powder is really pressed in there, so it's not like you get a lot on your brush, but I don't know, I just think it's a little cumbersome. I think they could have done a better, you know, packaging on this, but it is a nice powder. It's very finely milled. It doesn't look cakey on your face. I just hate using it because of the packaging, but I may just take all those little lids off and use it without it because it's frustrating. It does come in cute little, but this, you know, I end up not really putting them back in these things because it's just one more thing to remove before you put it on. So before you put on the package, before you put on the products. The lipstick is very nice. I like it, but I also like my Maybelline for $6 or $5. So is this something that I'm gonna go and buy a bunch of them? No, I'm glad I have this one. I will use it. It's a pretty shade, but it's a nice lipstick. But guys, it's really, I find that there's really no need to spend a lot of money on blushes and lipsticks and eyebrow products and mascaras on high end, because the drugstore has beautiful mascaras, blushes, lipsticks, brow products. So this is nice. I will use it, but I'm not gonna buy any more. Not because it's bad, but because I just, and the face palette, it's nice. I like the bronzer. It's a nice shade. It brings this little brush, which I really can't see. I don't know. I just don't think that it's anything that I really want to. This is kind of little. I don't know. But this is nice. I just wish that the highlighter was a true highlighter and not just a powder. But this blush is also pretty. It's a pretty shade. There it is. So it's definitely something that I would use. So this is nice as a setting powder, like I said. So overall, I did like the products that I used, some more than others, but I think it's a beautiful brand. It feels, you know, like luxury when you're putting it on your face. The eyeshadow is very pretty. I like the overall look that I came up with. And if you like Clarins, I think you'll be happy with this. You know, I like it, I really do. But I think that it's pricey. I think that the 4 shades in one palette for the eyeshadow, I would much rather spend $10 more and get a real eyeshadow palette with, like, you know, 12 shades or something like that than 4. You're very limited. They did have, like, I think it's like 4 palettes you can choose from. This is the one that I like the most, and I do like the brand, but I think it's very pricey. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. Let me know if there's another brand you would like for me to try. I'm planning on doing a full face of Lancome, and I do have plenty of products to do that one, but I decided to do Clarins because I think that Clarins is a brand that really people don't talk about on YouTube. I've seen a couple of people talk about their skincare, but really not their makeup products. So I just wanted to do that. So I think it's beautiful. It's very pretty. I definitely like it, and you know, get a thumbs up. So I love you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you on my next one. Bye. Mwah.